Welcome to North Carolina's Salary Scale Toolkit, brought to you by the North Carolina Institute for Child Development Professionals, the Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation of North Carolina, and the dedicated advocates and volunteers who brought this information together in one place. This is an online resource for anyone and everyone working in early childhood education to strengthen our pay practices, leading to better recruitment and reduce turnover. We know that not all programs have salary scales in place, but the toolkit is here to explain how everyone in early childhood education has something to gain from the salary scale toolkit, across all roles and no matter where you are in your pay practices today. We're going to begin by answering some important questions to help guide your path while using the toolkit. First, we want to clarify what we mean when we talk about a salary scale. A salary scale is a range of wages you pay someone to work in a particular job. The scale is designed to reflect an employee's base salary for their education, but might include other criteria such as skills, expertise, certifications, experience, or longevity. There can be different scales tied to different roles too. The lower side of the salary scale shows how much you would pay someone who meets the minimum requirements for the role, while the high end is how much you might pay someone who meets more or all of your requirements. Ideally, a salary scale will also provide incremental steps that show how one can increase their pay based on that criteria over time. Salary scales won't all look the same. It might be an Excel sheet, a document with tables or columns, or even a handwritten page. But no matter what yours looks like, it's an intentionally thought out document that defines what someone will earn for a particular role based on education and other factors. So why does it matter? The nature of early childhood as a business often leaves providers determining pay based on what they can afford, which results in paying people with similar roles and education completely different wages. When we have a salary scale in place, an employer knows what they're going to offer candidates, and new hires know where they stand and what to expect over time. Salary scales eliminate the need for teachers to change employment just to see a raise when more education or certifications are achieved. And for family childcare homeowners, your salary scale can support a stronger plan to increase your income over time and strategically plan for retirement. With a salary scale, you are setting the terms up front. While this toolkit's based on a model salary scale that we'll talk more about later, we also want to be very clear about a few important things to keep in mind as you explore the toolkit. We recognize that recommending a salary scale and a targeted wage for the early childhood workforce comes with challenges. The North Carolina Model Scale is not a law, it's not mandated, nor is it required, but it's a tool that was developed by advocates and volunteers in North Carolina to work towards connecting education with fair compensation for all early educators in North Carolina. Our hope is that providing more resources and information about creating or revising salary scales will help move the field as a whole towards a more transparent, equitable state to work in, a place where they can achieve financial, emotional, and physical well-being as a result. We know that businesses operate on thin margins, and in most cases, family tuition funds the highest share of program revenue. We are not recommending that families or programs bear all the weight of funding pay increases in your program. The scale rests on the assumption that increased funding for the industry as a whole will be required for centers and family childcare homes to make significant changes. The model salary scale is a recommendation that can also help us better estimate the true cost of providing high-quality programs. The true cost of quality is much higher than tuition. Fair compensation must be factored into the equation of the true cost of care. Understanding the gap between where we are and where we plan to go in our pay practices helps us answer the question of what will this cost, to better advocate with policymakers, businesses, and families. Keep in mind, the toolkit's a resource to help you understand and create stronger pay practices, And no matter your role, there's a lot here for you to explore and apply in your work. You'll notice on the home page you have options to travel down different paths. One will take you to the history of North Carolina's model salary scale, while others are differentiated by role. Feel free to explore all the areas, and finally, try out the toolkit calculator to project what pay scales might look like over time. Last but not least, thank you for visiting the toolkit. And feel free to direct any questions or comments to us at the North Carolina Institute for Child Development Professionals. You are appreciated and recognized for all you do each day for young children and their families. Together, we can make North Carolina a better place to work and grow as an early educator.